Hello and welcome to week 3. Today or I should say this week, rather, we are going to be starting our research papers. So I have a few readings for you guys to do in the textbook that get us started on our research papers that will be due at the end of the semester. Before I get into that, I want to talk just briefly about handing in your assignments between now and the rest of the course of the semester. From here on out, I don't want you to reply to the emails that I send to you as a class. If you have to send me an email and you have to ask me a question, please create a separate email and make sure that you are specific in the subject line about what your email is about. So if you have a question, make sure that you put that in the subject line that you have a question about a certain assignment. Same thing with the actual assignments when you send those to me. When you send me your response assignments and you send me your major papers from here on out, please do not reply to the email. Create a separate email and create a Word document and attach that Word document to the email and make sure that you put in the subject line the name of the assignment. So if it's response assignment number 3, make sure that you put that in the subject line, or if it's your annotated bibliography, make sure you do that as well. And if you have any questions or concerns about that, just please let me know. So going back, this week you will be starting your research paper. So I have you guys reading in your textbook, starting off with rhetorical situations in part 1, pages 3 through 17 in your textbook. And just very briefly, rhetorical situations discusses all of the different things that you can consider when you're writing and when you're reading. So we talked about the first week some active reading strategies, and you want to make sure that you are aware of, as you're writing your paper, who your audience is. Who are you writing to? One of the things that I always tell my students when we're writing research papers is that you want to think of your audience as me, of course, because I'm giving you your grade, but you also want to think of your audience as the Delta College community. Okay, so you want to think to yourself that every single student will be reading this paper, every single faculty member, every single administrator. So you want to write in a professional tone, okay? And they have some great examples in here to kind of understand the difference between how you write informally versus writing formally. They also talk about genre, being able to distinguish between the different type of genres of the things that you're reading and the things that you're writing. On page 10, they talk about being able to understand the genre, the type of paper that you're writing, and this paper that we are going to be writing between now and the end of the semester will be an actual research paper. They talk about in chapter 4, on starting on page 12, the stance that you're going to take on your paper. So you also want to be aware and clear of the opinion that you're going to develop. And when you guys do the research and collect data and analyze that data, you are going to basically take a stance on the information that you are reading, and then you'll synthesize that information and develop a thesis statement and argue that thesis statement in your paper. The second section that I want you guys to read is on page 373, and it goes to page 403, and that's part 5 of your textbook, and that's begins with doing research. So let me find that real quick. And then what you guys are going to do basically is only read half of this section. And in this section, um, they discuss the beginning of research. So the first thing you want to do is develop a research plan. So I've basically given you the assignment sheet for the annotated bibliography, and you know that we have between now and the end of the semester to actually write this research paper. So they basically say that you have to develop a research plan, and they give you a sample plan that you can abide by on page 376, as far as writing your paper, writing a rough draft, editing it, sending me a copy to perhaps see it and give you feedback on your paper. They also talk about how to come up with a topic. There are various ways which to come up with a topic that I want you to incorporate in your writing. I'm also sending you a sample worksheet that you can use to help develop your topics. Some people use brainstorming techniques. Some people use free writing. So with brainstorming, you can basically do what's called clustering and write your topic in the middle. So say you want to learn more about gun control. and you can basically write gun control in the middle of your paper and basically branch out everything that you know about gun control. Say you want to know about education, a little bit more about education, or perhaps technology in the classroom. As far as a free writing technique, you can just basically write down for about 20 minutes everything you know about technology in the classroom. One of the things that I like to use is what's called questioning. And when I use questioning, I like to ask maybe about 60 to 70 questions about my topic. So I ask things that I already know, things that I want to learn, and then I work with those questions and regroup those questions to help narrow down my topic. So say for example, we can all see this here. Say I have this pencil. I can ask about 50 questions about this pencil as far as where was it manufactured, who manufactured it, how much did it cost. Look at those questions, analyze those questions, group those questions to help come down with more of a narrow, more with a narrow topic that would eventually lead to my thesis statement. So this week you guys are going to focus on just kind of getting your feet wet, coming up with a topic and coming up with some questions or free writing or brainstorming about your topic so that you can narrow down your topic to a thesis statement. One of the things that they talk about in this book with your research is that in the beginning stages of your research process, you're going to start off very, very broad. So you just basically want to ask yourself, what do I want to learn more about? And then you're going to do some research and find some information about that topic, and after you analyze and synthesize that information, you'll be able to narrow down your topic to an actual thesis statement. So I'm not really looking for you guys to have a thesis statement next week, but rather I want you to do some preliminary research to find out what other people are saying about your topic. Um, We'll also be looking at evaluating sources and finding sources. So for your response number 3 this week, you will be collecting data. You will be collecting sources for your paper. For your paper, you're going to have a total of 8 sources. And so for the response assignment this week, you will have to collect 4 of those sources. 4 of those sources need to come from a library. Okay, so this week I want you to stay away from Google, the .com websites. I want you to stay away from Wikipedia, and I want you to focus your search in the library. And all of that stuff is detailed to you in your assignment sheet. And finally, the last section I'm having you read in the textbook tells you how to do an annotated bibliography. So your next major paper will be an annotated bibliography. And your annotated bibliography is basically setting you up for the researched argument essay. So you want to think to yourself that the last 2 major papers, which is the annotated bibliography and the research argument, that's going to be one major project. So the topic that you choose for week 3, you are going to be basically stuck with it all the way up until the end of the semester. So you want to make sure that you plan wisely. Now, for the annotated bibliography, again, that's just an opportunity for you to collect data about your topic and analyze that data. And you'll basically transfer that data and create a thesis statement around that and argue that thesis statement in your research paper. All of this stuff is explained in the week 3 assignment list. Again, if you have questions about anything, let me know. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover with you guys. As a reminder, again, if you have an email or if you have a question and you need to email me, I should say, or if you are sending your assignment to me, please, please, please create a separate email. Please don't reply to the actual week 3 email that I send out. So, good luck, happy reading, and as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. And I will see you all in cyberspace.